What is going on, everybody, and on here? And happy Sunday. It is that time of the week where we're going to go through distribution for Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, and a bunch of other indie games. So, that being said, we have a big week coming up with a bunch of Pokemon products coming to market, including Phantasmal Flames. And then Avatar pre-release is this Friday as well. So, it's going to get crazy here. In addition, League of Legends is going nuts. The second Gundam game is out. Seems like things are going well. OP13 is probably the best set that's come out in a long time. So there's a lot of good stuff to talk about. So let's get to it. So we'll start with the lesser games. Final Fantasy TCG, the newest set, Journey to something on the Journey of Discovery. Yeah, Journey of Discovery comes out this week as well. And for those of you who don't pay attention to Final Fantasy TCG, it's on. This is like the 20th set, 25th set, 26th set, something like that. Yeah, OP 27. So 27th set is right in front of me. So this is a game that has a lot of longevity. The cards are beautiful. And if you look at the sealed product, it does tend to trend up over time in a relatively strong manner. Now it does get to 150, 175 a box, and things tend to stagnate. But it's interesting nonetheless. Flesh and Blood. The only reason I click on this is I'm trying to figure out what the next set is, and I don't know after SummerSlam, Super Slam, whatever that shit show was. Flesh and Blood, Chapter 1, Chapter 2. I don't know anything about these, and I wish I did, but quite honestly, I don't really care that much about Flesh and Blood. It looks like it's just pre-con garbage. So I don't know what the next set is. It's going to be interesting to hear what these guys have to say. I would imagine they're going to be a Gamma this year. So I'll sit in on the event again and see where they're going. I still don't have any faith in the game, but different conversation. Gundam, this is interesting because the second set came out and the box prices, I think they're still a little bit above MSRP, but they got hammered quite a bit. And what's interesting is GD01, which is New Time Rising. There wasn't a lot of the market, and all of a sudden, all of the big online stores, non-brick and mortar stores that weren't supposed to get the product, now they all seem to have hundreds of boxes that they're dumping. So I wonder if what happened here with GD1 and probably with GD02 also, because it's seems to be less focus on brick and mortar, if you will. I mean, it's still there, but there's the rules that most people play for, and then the rules that don't apply to the big boys. I wonder if distribution took care of what they had to with Bandai and the organized play stores, and then the last, couple thousands of boxes they just sent to the big boys at the end to sell on the open market, and they're starting to do so. Now, I do expect GD01 to start to dry up here relatively shortly. The sell-through is quite good still. Same with GD02 as well, but that's kind of fresh. Now, apparently there's a reprint coming in March of the starter decks 1 through 4. Remains to be seen if there's going to be a reprint of the first set or not. I tend to think there probably will be just because it's convenient, but I don't know for certain. So moving on to One Piece, this is Southern Hobbies open site. They don't carry One Piece. OP13 is absolute fire. I believe the boxes are still on TCG Player for like $160, $170. The chase cards, there's like 3 or 4 cards over $400 or $500. So it's absolutely wild. It is a 3rd anniversary set. I think Luffy is the main character. I don't know what the main chase is. I know there's at least one Luffy main chase, but it's absolutely nuts. Which is interesting because OP 10, 11, and 12 are a little bit on the weaker side. 9 seems to be pretty good. So it's like 1 out of 4 sets is an absolute grand slam, and then the other 3 sets are just kind of hit or miss. At least that's what's happened for the last 5 sets. And for those of you that are One Piece nerds, you feel free to comment. But if you've watched all the cartoons, I really give a shit what you have to say. No offense, but this is a big boy conversation. But no, seriously though, I'm just joking. With the TCG, if you have any other feedback, feel free. The waifu set, I think it's EB03. Released last week in Japan. It doesn't release in the US until February. I've had some folks ask me about it, and that's where that is. So talk about Gundam. I want to talk about Lorcana. I don't care about the game, but I'm going to give you an example of why I hate the game, why I hate the company, and I have no interest in it. So Costco just got these Lorcana bundles. I think it was in the last week, may have been a little bit before, but I just heard about them today. And they have reprinted packs of the first chapter. So these Ravensburger idiots are reprinting the first set booster packs still today. Like, you can't make this shit up. They're almost as bad as Wizards of the Coast and their bullshit at this point. But it is what it is. So Riftbound, the first set's gone absolutely nuts. The second set, most of the orders have closed already. Now I know it says order due date December here, but they did close orders early with most distributors, I believe. So I don't know what the print run is going to look like for the first set, for the second set. I know for Origins, it's already gotten chewed up and spit out, and the print quality of the cards was so absolute garbage. Like, the knives were so dull, the corners were all chipped, and the boxes all just disappeared and got shredded. Which is pretty interesting. People seem to love the game. We had a huge successful pre-release. It was probably 5 times what our Gundam one was. Probably the same as One Piece, which is really, really interesting. And and we tend to not advertise the fact that we have boxes and packs, just the actual starter decks, because we want people that are going to actually come and play the game and try to build a community, not people that are going to come and scalp the shit and just piss on the store afterwards. So so the fact that it was a home run was interesting. Now it does look like there is a sizable wave 2 coming middle to end of December. This is a reprint, so there's been some confusion. In the initial release, there was originally supposed to be a wave 1 and a wave 2. Wave 1 at release, wave 2 the first week of December. Those 2 waves ended up getting shipped or getting received right around the same time from distribution. So when I talk about what people are terming wave 2 now, this is a legitimate reprint that is coming in December. I don't know what the purchase orders look like yet. Should know hopefully this week or next week when I get some information, but we'll see. Sorcery, Contest Realm, did get some information on this. I think I spoke last week about, it seems like there's somewhere around 35,000 boxes going through the 2 distributors that handle it. And then everybody and their brother has a special handout from the company, which is complete bullshit. But it is what it is. It looks like Team Covenant has one. Star City Games / Channel Fireball / Burn Flesh and Blood to the Ground have another one, but at least they're running an organized place. So I can't really shit on them that much. But either way, I think the boxes are going to come out and they're going to sell quite a bit for the first couple weeks, and then the demand's going to fall off a cliff because they don't have a mechanism for adding new players and new interest. So the folks that are playing the game and they're interested in the game, they're going to get what they want, and then they're just going to kind of fall off a cliff. So that being said, moving to Weiss, I have heard potentially not all the Azure Lane Volume 2 has hit the US yet. I don't know what the truth is to that. I know with all of my distributors, except for one, I got on my product. One of my distributors, I got nothing yet. But that's okay. I mean, I told them they can wait to the end. Because quite honestly, I have enough for what I had sold in advance for this. So everything else, I'm just going to sit on. The sell-through seems to be good. The total supply in the market seems to be a little bit less than what I thought. So it's kind of best case scenario for me. So we'll see there. On Nikki, I do want to mention, somebody pointed out with Nikki, the black label rate for the chase cards, the SEC pluses, it's extremely low. I think there's 2 of them, and this was a massive print run. And quite honestly, there's 2,000 boxes left on TCG Player, and 1,800 of them are 2 stores. So it's drying up a lot faster than what it looks like. And then the only thing I really care about here is we do have the reprint of Freerin coming in December. Let's see, where is the date? Yeah, this was a November 2024 release. So the orders were in August. So I believe it's coming December. This will be a silver print border, but the second series or the second season of the Netflix series is going to be coming out in January. So it should have some tailwinds there. And it looks like it was maybe 10% of what was ordered for Azure Lane, which was like a quarter of what was ordered for Nikki. So it's going to be interesting because there's not a lot of it. Again, it was unordered a second time, and if the IP gets hot and the second series gets hot here, it's going to perform very well. So let's go to Magic. The ultimate face palm. These guys have basically kicked themselves in the nuts again. So Avatar should be okay, but these guys have kicked out so many goddamn reprints of product. I am now getting calls from multiple distributors saying, hey, do you want to take some of this product? We're running out of room in our warehouse. Now, this is in spite of the fact that there's another wave of Final Fantasy play. By the way, Final Fantasy play, those of you who haven't connected the dots, the fact that they're reprinting Spider-Man play this soon, they obviously plan this because they are hurting for revenue in Q4. They were relying on Spider-Man to be a home run, and that's why they had this scheduled. It was a shit show, and now they have a problem. They don't have print issues for play boxes. They're scheduling the play boxes to land when their quarters need revenue. Their Q4 of 2025 is short on revenue, so they scheduled Final Fantasy play to hit. They scheduled Tarkir play to hit. Now we have all these. We have Bloomborough. We have Bloomborough, Ixalan, Final Fantasy all hit in Q3. But now we have Tarkir Commander that hit Q4. We have Murders of Karlov Manor coming. We have Lord of the Rings coming that are going to hit in the end of November, early December. Now we have Edge of Eternities and Aether Drift that should hit this week. So they are just dumping a massive amount of product on distribution, and they are flooding the market. And the market is going to get so diluted with this product. They're going to push themselves into a bull market because the idiots running the company are running around, sniffing themselves, thinking they can do no wrong, and they have no idea that in the world of supply chain, they've already basically fucked up Amazon because nobody's paying more than MSRP for these products. So they no longer have that outlet there to the extent that they thought they had. But as they continue to push all of this volume of product to distribution, they're clogging up the supply chain. And what's really going to, I think, be the nail in the coffin for the next 2 or 3 quarters for WotC is in Q1 when Pokemon dumps distribution with reprints as well. There's not going to be any space left in the warehouse. So if distribution decides they're going to fire sale Magic the Gathering to make room for Pokemon, Magic's dead. Like, it is dead for a long period of time. We're going to see the Amazon dumps. And I mean, we're already seeing Amazon dumps, absolute bargain basement pricing. I saw Tarkir Commander today for $150, which is, I think that's lower than Flipside, Forge and Fire, all the big sellers, which is kind of crazy. So these guys have basically stabbed themselves in the eye again. They don't know it yet, but I'm sure most of you guys realize that Avatar's been okay, a little bit on the light side. Lorwyn's going to be okay, but standard sets only perform so well. There's only so much they can do with standard. These guys are pumping secret layers out like it's their fucking job. And if I see another goddamn Soul Ring, like, these guys are just reprinting and reskinning all the cards that people want. At some point, they're creating so much dilution in their product, it's gonna get rejected. And it's probably gonna get rejected in February, March of 2026. But I'm working on a whole video series about this. The first one I put out a couple days ago, it's just called Breaking Hasbro, because I walk through the numbers and the magnitude that Magic is of Hasbro. And the next part of the video is just going to be walking through the numbers of Magic and how you kind of walk to the revenue for Magic and the different pieces. And then the third piece is just going to be walking through what distro gets in the different pieces by set and trying to back solve into what the revenue is by by what we're seeing at distro. Now, it's certainly not perfect information, but it's an exercise and close enough because I think we can get there, and then we can start to see where all the gaps are. And I was pulling a bunch of earnings call questions and comments today, and I was just cracking up because some of the comments are just I don't think they think or they do any planning on the obvious questions they were going to get. But yeah, we'll get to that later. So with Magic, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is going to be an absolute train wreck. It's going to be a shit show. The art sucks. It's a weak IP. And again, the market's going to be so full of product that nobody wants. I think the holiday Final Fantasy thing is going to be okay. But I will tell you that they are rapidly increasing the number of collector boxes they're printing again, and gift bundles. So for those of you who have distribution, you should have noticed that you've gotten way more Avatar collector boxes than you got Spider-Man. Now, not counting the second wave of Spider-Man that came in, and the gift bundles, I got 3 times as many gift bundles as what I got for Spider-Man because they're printing them like crazy. And the numbers that distro got, they're up to almost 1 collector box for every 2 play boxes, where Spider-Man was like 45%, and before that was right around 40%. So 4 collector boxes for every 10 play boxes. So they're starting to pump the shit out of this, and the reason they didn't do serialize is 100%, so they can continue to reprint. And those of you out there who think they don't reprint collector boxes because they said 4 years ago they wouldn't, they reprinted the reserve list. So look at the mirror, kick yourself in the ass because you're a fucking idiot. They're going to do anything they can, and they don't give a shit about the market. They don't give a shit about the history of the market, what happens later, because if they miss the current quarter, they're not going to be here for the next quarter. They're a public company. So moving to Pokemon. Fun fact about Pokemon. Somebody asked me what the earnings of Pokemon looks like. So yeah, I kind of connected the dots, and Nintendo owns 29% Pokemon. I thought it was 33, but it's not quite. It's 29%. Because presumably the management team owns a piece of it. And they disclosed how much net income for last year. So yeah, you prorate it for 29%, and the exchange rate, I think, was 149 yen to $1 US. The Pokemon Company made somewhere just south of $800 million of net income, so earnings. So it's about the size of Magic. It might be a little bit smaller, which is a little fascinating. Now, keep in mind that the video games and all that stuff is done by Nintendo, so that doesn't go through Pokemon. I think Pokemon here is just, it's like the clothing, the figures, and the games. So anyway, that's interesting. So Pokemon, bunch of stuff going on here, a lot of product coming out over the next couple weeks. I mean, 11.14 is the release for pretty much all of this stuff. We haven't got the trainer toolkits yet. We haven't gotten the battle decks, the Gengar battle decks. They've been in big box for a couple weeks now. We get those this week. We're just going to be inundated with product, which is great. But we have wave 1, and then we have wave 2 coming, the first and second week of December. So it's going to be a mad dash getting to the end of the year to see if we can get all these products out. So people still talk about the Mega Charizard, EX Premium UPC, like they do the one from Sword and Shield. In my view, it's complete apples and oranges. Yes, there's a lot of these out there, but the market isn't going to completely implode. There's no extenuating circumstances like the government ending the lockdown to have people go outside and decide to spend their money elsewhere. And in addition, the 2 promos in here are probably going to sell for $100 combined. The Oricorio, $20 plus, just because of the artist. And then the Charizard is going to be $50 plus, probably closer to $80 at release. So, these things selling for $250 right now. The floor is probably $200. It may push down to $170, $180 for a split second when all the little shit stores dump it on TCG Player. But yeah, that's probably the time to buy. I also not 100% confirmed, but it looks like they are working on a second print run of the super premium collections. I think most of you saw that there's supposedly a Costco bundle coming in 2026 of the SPC and the UPC. I don't know if any of it is coming to distribution on the SPC side, but we'll see. We'll see. It's a decent amount. So anyway, guys, any other questions on any of these games? Oh, Bo Jackson Battle Arena. I wanted to start with this because nobody cares about it. Both Southern and GTS allocated like it was a sports product. It was allocated very, very heavily. As a TCG, it's kind of whatever. But the on-card autographs are super interesting. They will never not be collectible. So the cards will not go to zero. And the pre-release sale on eBay, I think the set comes out. It's a Griffey Jeter set, comes out in 3 weeks. They're already selling for double what distro prices. So just want to put that on people's radar. If there's probably 3 people that care, and I'm one of them. But anyway, that's all I have for now. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, and have a great Sunday.